Let's talk a little bit about a refresh that you did in your own space. You found that there were a few things that you needed to fix up, right?
Oh, there were a lot of things I needed to fix up. when we first moved in here, there was a huge tree in the backyard that was leaning at an extreme angle, and it was dying, and it was actually kind of hazardous, so we had to get rid of that. That was a big job, and once that was gone, we kind of had a blank slate to start with.
Okay, so listen, the blank slate situation, some people find very overwhelming. I'm one of those people. So where should you start?
It is overwhelming. So I think the easiest thing in a backyard is to start with the perimeter. You want to get those walls around your yard looking good. It's kind of like inside, painting your walls inside. So what we did here was we had to get rid of our fence because it was also falling down. We put up a fence with long horizontal boards to kind of draw your eye to the back. That's a good trick for making a small yard feel a little bit bigger. And then we stained it in an opaque stain from Benjamin Moore. It's a deep, rich gray. And I just think it looks beautiful with the plants against it. The green really pops against that gray. And then at the back of the house, we painted the back of the house the same color. Our board and batten siding used to be like a pale blue. It was very dirty, and simply by painting it in this stain, it feels like we put up new siding, which we didn't. So then you've got this nice, great foil to start with.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good, Suzanne. Okay, let's talk about those plants, because you need to spend some time thinking about the plants and the greenery in your space.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am a terrible gardener, I will admit that. So I wanted something really easy. So what I think a good trick is to think about tiers and layers of texture. So at the low level, we put in simple boxwood to outline the patio. Then in the mid-level, we used a row of hydrangeas, and right now mine are green, but soon they're going to be big, puffy white flowers. That'll bring a nice hit of brightness to the backyard. And then for your top tier, think about a few trees. So we did add a couple of trees back. I love the foliage. They're great for keeping the house cool in the summer. And then of course, there's an alley that runs back here, so they hide a lot of those wires that you see.
I was going to say really good for Toronto yard privacy. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
Planters. I'm a big planter person, perennials. I love to go crazy, buy lots of flowers, etc. So I put them at the corners of the deck just to soften the edges, and also have some herbs for your cooking. And think about your scents. Like, we wanted to have some beautiful smells in the backyard, so we have lavender, and we also have lilac bushes.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, and it turned out so beautifully. Now, I noticed that your backyard also has a lot of patterns and materials, so tell us about why you chose to do it that way.
Okay, well, I love to mix patterns. It's like decorating. You can decorate outside. So the big pattern hit is from the awning that's above me. That's a Sunbrella fabric in green with a fun stripe. I just like that it adds a lot of pattern. Then I mixed in some other stripes on the furniture. Even the pillows from CB2 in the back area are more stripes. You can mix many stripes together and make it work. And then on the ground, we had this deck. It was here when we got the house. It was in pretty good shape, so we just gave it a good power wash. And then at the back, we added a herringbone pattern brick patio. And I think it's kind of cool to have two different materials in the yard. I think a lot of people think you have to have one material in a small space, but you don't. You can mix it up. It gives you a feeling of zones and a destination. And when you have a heritage home like mine, it's a little more eclectic.
I love that you laid the bricks in a herringbone pattern, which is absolutely gorgeous inside and out. And speaking of inside and out, is decorating the outside completely different from decorating inside?
It's exactly the same. It really is. You have to think about your patterns, like I said, and think about zones. So for instance, right here where I am, this is the dining zone. It's right off the entrance from the back of the house for easy access. Of course, the awning designates this zone. And I like to mix up the furniture. So I've had this set forever, this black powder-coated metal set, but I added a couple of end chairs just to mix up this set. I think that's always fun to break up the set and be a bit eclectic.
That is a really good idea, actually, because we have a table and chairs that have been in our backyard forever, and there's no reason to get rid of it because it still works, but we could switch the chairs. Now, it looks like for you, you've got another zone that looks like a gorgeous lounge area. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, the back of the yard, I think this is the highlight of the space. It's sort of been set up like a modern campfire setup with a sofa and 2 chairs. The centerpiece is this fire pit. It's a gas fire pit, which don't you think that the fire pit has become kind of the must-have item in almost every yard, so you can extend your enjoyment outside. This one is from Air Home. That's spelled with an E. And what's really nice about this fire pit that I like is that it's lightweight relative to other fire pits. It's sustainable because it's made with 40% recycled concrete, which is great. And I love this white finish. It's got lots of texture in it. It adds a bit of brightness in the backyard in the dark corner back there. And also it has a tabletop that you can put on top of the fire pit, so you can convert it into a coffee table when you don't want a fire on those nights when it's too hot, for instance. So I love those kinds of double duty features in a yard, especially a small space like this one. And even the little side table is a place to hide your propane tank. So you can hook this up to your gas line on your house if you want to, but let's say your yard is completely renovated and you don't feel like ripping it all up to do that. You can just get a propane tank, hide it in the table, and no one knows the wiser.
Oh, that's very smart. I've never seen one that looks quite like that. That is a great fire pit. Let's talk about lighting outside, because we want to stay outside all night long. What do you do for lighting?
Yeah, lighting's really important. I think a lot of people forget about it. But let's face it, if you don't think about the lighting, it's a black hole back here at night, right? You're not going to see anything. So what we did on a budget, we just added a few lights onto the fence. These are easy to install. We put them up at the same time that we put up the fence. All the wires are hidden inside the fencing. So that gives you high level lighting around the yard. You can see right to the back. It's on a timer as well that's attached to the back of the house. And then also high level lighting, we did a couple of sconces by the back door, so you have visibility when you're going in and out with your dishes, etc. And then I also like lanterns, like just really simple lanterns. I positioned mine down by the planters. They help to designate the step down into the patio for safety. And then of course, really simple, just get some candles. I love candles indoors just as much as I like them outside. And I found these really pretty ones from Aaron Lauder in a wicker, which I just love for that kind of tropical vibe.
Really gorgeous space, Suzanne. This is a really lovely, refresh in the backyard. You'll be there through all the season.